Book it, Udria! Book it, Machka!
Welcome to Book It, a wrestling podcast where we book and revisit your favorite wrestling storylines. I'm your commissioner, Hi-Fi Mike, and today I got your GMs, Damone, D-Money Allen,
Whoop, whoop.
Primetime Travie T,
Yo.
and Hollywood Kevin.
Oh, hey!
What's going on, everyone?
Hanging and banging.
Living the dream.
For some reason, Damone's living the dream has come with a pause lately. It's part of it now.
You know why?
It's part of the delivery.
You
We
guys
ruined
shunned me.
Yeah, we've got him so culture shocked.
No, because he
He's-
started doing it in the introduction, and it wasn't like someone. It was like saying, like, this is Damone, and Damone went, I'm great, how are you? Like, it was just really
Yeah.
weird.
No, I know he's weird as fuck, but
It was weird. You started doing a weird thing, and we appropriately made fun of you for it.
he's been doing weird things for 30 episodes. I know you've only been around for about 15 of them, but
Oh, more than
Wow.
that. Come on.
Yeah,
So
this is episode proper 30. So
proper 30. We're now sponsored by the other champ, Conor McGregor. This is a proper podcast.
No, girl, no.
uh,
Problematic.
yeah.
We're probably gonna
Anyways,
get For all
so
the uses of his catchphrases.
so in the last 30 episodes, we've gone through already quite a bit of a big transformation. I just want to point that out that I don't even go over the rules anymore. The rules are out the window. If anybody
You
can
know
remember
why?
that we had rules.
Yeah,
You-
let's
you're an
ask Kevin
OG
why.
listener.
Kevin, why?
To be fair, when y'all asked me to be a guest on the show, I asked, like, how's this going to work? And then at the last second, booking wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And we were just reacting to a list. And then the next week, you guys asked me to be a, like, permanent cast member or whatever. And I said, okay, so how does booking work? And you guys just said, just do whatever you want. Like, I asked for rules, and y'all were just like, just go ham. And I was like, great, love it, will do.
To be fair,
And so I
yeah.
just went ham. And so there were rules, and just no one told me them. And so
And
now
she broke
we don't
every
have
single
them.
one.
Well,
Broke every
that-
single one,
and, I
day
mean,
one.
by then we were. I think by like episode 3, the rules already became super loose.
Except for
And-
timing matches.
Except for, well, that was just me. That's legit.
Doing it
I
big.
think we should still time.
That was
The
not really a
pay-per-views.
rule.
No, that's
But-
That
so
wasn't
dumb.
really a rule. That was just Mike
That
being
was
a dick.
it. Was also me being a dick because I'm like, how are you gonna have 15 matches in 3 hours and have segments?
The
all I'm
admin
saying.
is the least interesting part of any fantasy booking.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
You're so
to make
Low-key
fun of
same,
the
Mike.
times, the timing, because I think that has a big part of booking an actual event, but that's not the
He
point.
wants it. He
But
wants
we're
it
not
to be.
booking an actual event.
Well, we are.
Yeah. This isn't
One
my
day, this is
debut.
practice.
This isn't my interview tape
Damone,
for Vince
yeah.
McMahon.
Damone for creative.
Yeah,
I mean,
Damone.
yeah.
I'd love
That
to see
actually-
Damone on creative.
I'd watch that actually. Damone
I wouldn't.
some good
He'd-
stuff. Yeah,
he'd
that's
Vince
because you're a
Russo it.
contrarian who
You don't watch now, so.
So, anyways,
Oh,
this.
you just broke one of the new rules that we're not supposed to talk about.
Oh wow! All right. Anyways, this episode we are gonna do Rusev's Road to WrestleMania. We have no particular reason why we picked Rusev. But we picked Rusev because we didn't
It's
think
just-
he hasn't had big enough of a WrestleMania moment. I think personally.
He had
So
that tank.
Yeah, but
did have a tank.
he did have a tank.
Tanks
but
are pretty big. Mike.
That's as big as he got. He could have had that tank.
He
and
should have had a
two other
blimp. God
tanks.
damn it.
Yeah.
Right. You should have had two blimps and a
blimps?
hover carrier. I don't know what that is. An air
Boy,
carrier.
I
he had-
feel
if he
like
had
a
a blimp-
blimp and a hovercraft, I assume. is
Sure,
what you were
that's
going for.
fine. He-
I feel like that's a lot of aircraft for one entrant.
All
Hey,
right.
hey, if he had a blimp, he would have to say, Come roll a fatty for this blimp daddy.
Okay.
He'd have to ride in on Putin's back. Like he's
Like literally Putin.
Yeah. He's ride in.
They can both come. They can ride in
Shirtless.
horseback.
I was gonna say a shirtless Putin. He's riding a shirtless Putin
Oh,
to
Why do you
the
keep saying
Nick-
Putin?
because that's how I
Yeah,
say it. You got a problem with that?
Putin.
Well,
It's
I'm saying
Putin.
Putin. I don't care. I'm American.
Now, to
I'm gonna
be
say it how I
fair-
want.
Vanilla.
to be fair, everyone says Rasputin and not Rasputin. So maybe there's something to that. I don't know.
Well, anyways, Rusev. I'm saying that right?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe I could be saying Rusev wrong, and I don't
Anybody
realize it.
remember Rusev's first name?
No.
Vladimir.
It's Alexander.
Vladimir Rusev.
That's one of the name changes I'm glad they got rid of.
I feel
Yeah.
like
It doesn't.
yeah.
Alexander Day doesn't sound as good.
Alexander Rusev. Crash.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I feel like Alexander Day is a really bad like pop punk band from
That
2003.
I'd be in a band called Alexander Day.
I also would be in. Hey, Mike, want to start a band called Alexander Day?
I'm down.
Done.
The fact that those two are the ones that wanted to be in the band proves my point.
I'm just
Excuse
saying,
you.
I play pop punk, so
I toured in my band. My
I bet you
band
did.
Was lit.
A lot of bands toured, but that doesn't make them not bad.
yeah,
my
we
band-
didn't
my
tour,
band's
but
dope.
our we didn't tour. We played shows, but we
I
also
can't talk
were
bad
not,
about Mike's band because Mike's band did Trigger Warning's theme song,
Yeah, we did. That was in the pop
but they
punk
did
version.
they
of
did it like forever.
It was
before
like
it.
yeah, it was a while ago. Anyways, we're gonna
Anyways,
go on to
that's
this
Mike's
episode.
catchphrase. Anyways,
Yeah,
You should
that's
have a
usually
shirt
how
that
that's
anyways.
usually my
You're rude. That's why.
easy. Well,
Segue.
no.
Him
that's an
trying to
easy
get us back on
segue.
track,
Right.
which is his
And-
whole ass job.
It is
Yep.
very
No,
much my
like-
job. The job I gave
How often
myself.
How
What?
often do you do your job?
Do I do my job or does she do her job? Who?
Well, if we're throwing stones, either.
Oh God.
Right now.
God.
Can we do this?
Anywho,
This is a
Anywho.
podcast, and you're completely derailing this whole podcast for absolutely no
what did you
entertainment
think,
value.
What did you think this was going to be when I said I was going to co
This is it. I'm done. I'm done. I quit.
Mike will be in his trailer that he does
I'm
not have.
gonna be in my trailer. Wake me
Okay,
when you're
I'm
done.
here. You got.
I'm gonna be
You got-
in my
you got-
trailer.
buy it
Now
$1.
you're acting like her.
All right. Anyways,
Anyways,
back to the
back to the future.
The actual episode.
back to the
topic
show.
at hand.
We're gonna be lucky if I don't cut that entire thing out. All
Man, that was fucking comedy gold. Fuck you.
Okay, stop it. Move forward.
right.
Enough about the past.
So Rusev, who wants to go first? Simone, you want to go first? Because I'm
I
looking
can
at
go
you.
first.
All right.
Since it was kind of my idea. Yeah. So essentially, the idea behind it was kind of to do like the old WWE games where they had like the Road to WrestleMania, and you would take a character and you'd play through their Road to WrestleMania. So it's kind of the similar idea. At first, I was gonna try and do week to week, but that's a lot of fucking work.
That is a lot of work.
That's
This-
literal months of booking. Like
Yes.
months. On
Yeah,
two
that-
brands.
It literally would have taken me probably like a whole week, and like my booking is already like a page and a half. It probably would have been like 5 pages worth of booking.
Oh, girl.
So not doing that. So I didn't go week to week, but I tried to get as close as possible. In my world though, so because it's a different world essentially, Rusev Day is still together. They don't break up. He's still Aiden English and Rusev are together. And also Shane is the commissioner, but he's also a heel. So we're kind
wait. Okay.
of
Wait, is that
But it's
different
not
than-
it's not two characters. It's not like there's Commissioner Shane and also heel wrestler Shane. It's like
no, it's just Shane heel.
heel Commissioner Shane.
Heel Commissioner Shane.
Got it.
What, Travis? You're shaking your head.
I'm confused about what she was confused about. You think there was gonna be clones or what? What did you?
Yes.
think?
Well, no, remember
Multiple
remember
Shanes.
Yeah, I'm like,
I had two Triple H's one time. I had
Oh,
Papa
yeah,
Whips
that
and I
was so
had
bad.
like Excuse you.
Wow.
Right here. I needed both characters. And so it was an alternate universe where they were two different people. Freaking fight me.
I don't even remember. I must have fallen asleep. I don't remember this. No, I'm serious. I don't.
No.
Why do you even have me on this show? No
Oh,
one likes
please.
my booking.
Wow.
I like your
booking.
I like your
Kevin.
booking.
I'm gonna have
I
to
don't
curb-
like your booking.
I'm gonna have
Jumping-
to
I know
curb
you don't
stomp
like
it this week, but I like your booking.
That's fair. No, that's fair. You will curb stomp it this week. I'm not gonna lie to you. My booking is not the best this week. But I'm looking forward to sharing it with you.
Okay, so
Alright.
Shane's
You
the
just
heel
admitted
commission-
defeat before you even got here.
I think it's important. I think
That's
it's
a
important
loser's
to be
mentality.
realistic. I think it's important to be realistic. I know my worth.
So we're gonna start off with, and this is the very beginning, is where like, oh, I'm gonna do the week to week, so it's gonna come off that way. So Rusev is gonna arrive to the arena, and he goes to Shane McMahon's office. He tells him he's gonna enter into the Royal Rumble that year. Shane says that he's going to have to win a qualifying match. Aiden English is there with them. He's like, why does Rusev have to enter? He should be already entered because it's Rusev Day.
Oh, that was a
Shane's
pretty note.
That was pretty.
Oh,
There's
you need to
vibrato
do
on
that.
that and everything.
I'm gonna make a note. That's gonna be a pre-intro.
Shane says because he said so, and they better get out of his office before he changes his mind, and Rusev is out of the Rumble entirely. So then Rusev, he has a qualifying that match that night, and it's against the Big Red Machine, Kane. So Rusev manages to beat Kane. So Kane's with the Mashka kick. So Rusev's gonna be in the Royal Rumble, but then Shane's like, Kane's in the Royal Rumble too anyway. It was just your qualifying match. After the match, Aiden English eats a choke slam. Kane's back up, and he choke slams Aiden English. Rusev then clotheslines Kane over the top rope, and they celebrate to go off the air. So
Is Rusev a babyface?
Rusev is a babyface. This is babyface
That's
Rusev.
the worst.
So this
Rusev.
is Rusev Day Rusev.
I mean, I guess you could be Rusev Day Rusev, but I always like heel Rusev. He was always just a
Well,
monster.
He didn't book it for you, Mike.
Whoa. Well,
So- I will
we
say
got
this, though.
Hollywood is really coming out tonight. She's
I'm
like
so tired.
she's
I'm
like
so
damn.
grumpy.
She's ruthless. Like can't even joke anymore.
No.
You gotta play
Hey,
it
by the way,
straight
I
laced this
clearly
whole
wasn't
show.
By the way, guys, she thought she wasn't going to be able to get into podcast mode, be in character for this, but just like I knew, I picked all the buttons, pushed
Yeah.
all the
All
points.
about
I
you,
needed.
not about my
I think
high level of
she-
professionalism.
I think she became primetime Travie T instead of Hollywood tonight. That's what it seems to
did.
me.
I've
She
been
is.
so
She's being kind of,
She's being the
Kinda-
primetime
Say
Hollywood.
Say it. Say
kind
it.
of,
Say it.
kind of bitchy.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I didn't say it. I didn't. That was not me.
Honestly, I came
views
to
of
have
this-
a good time, and I'm feeling so attacked right
This,
now.
the views of this podcast are not followed by the T13 Media Network. we don't all subscribe to the same train of thought.
Best part is I'm in charge of PR and public statement.
Yeah, this is our PR person.
Yeah. Anyway, Timon, would you like to
Anywho,
continue with your
yes.
babyface Rusev that I, for
Baby
one,
Ru-
am all for?
Babyface Rusev. So then Rusev and Aiden team up in the next 3 weeks until the Royal Rumble against the team of Sanity and the Bar, respectively. So they win both of the matches, but after they face the Bar on the week before the Rumble, the Bar attacks them after the match, but then a brawl ensues, and before you know it, there's pretty much all the men on SmackDown are out in the ring brawling right before the Rumble. It's just pretty much chaos. So we're at the Royal Rumble now. So Rusev goes to the ping pong ball machine, or the machine they used to have where it would have the numbers.
So you're also booking vending machines in
Ping pong
this?
ball machine.
Not
Like
vending machines.
the bingo.
Oh, the
drum.
bingo.
Yeah.
I was like, I
Bingo,
thought he's like
yeah.
booking.
You know, the ping pong ball machine.
He's also
Whatever the fuck it's called. The bingo machine.
I would have never thought of ping pong ball machine as the bingo thing.
Yeah,
I
the
wonder what
bingo
that
thing.
Is that like the hopper? Isn't that what it's called? Something like
Yeah,
that?
it might be called
a
the
hopper.
hopper. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
a
sense.
hopper.
Okay, the
Yeah.
hopper.
It's sad that I know that if that's true.
Yeah, I think that is what it's called. But Rusev goes to the hopper to see what number he's going to get. So while he's there, Randy Orton is standing there as well. And right before Rusev goes to grab his, Randy Orton grabs his, reaches in and takes one. So Randy Orton then
What a
turns
dick.
around and he says, "Oh, it's number 28." And that Rusev doesn't need to even bother picking because Randy Orton's going to become a 3-time Rumble winner. Rusev lets Aiden English pick his number for him. They look at the number and they walk off. They sigh a little bit, or Rusev is like, "Heh." And then
But in Russian or in
but in
Bulgarian.
Russian.
Yeah, it says size in Russian.
Sighs in Russian. And they walk off while Randy Orton has a giant smirk on his face. So the number 1 entrant to the Royal Rumble is
Randy Orton.
Shinsuke Nakamura. Orton is number 28.
Well, I thought it was like a swerve. Like he says he's 28, but he's not actually 28, and he said he was 28 just to throw Rusev off the scent of the 28. That's what it sounded like.
He's just being a dick, and he stole pretty much what would have been Rusev's number. So Rusev is actually the number 1 entrant is Shinsuke. The number 2 entrant is Rusev. So it starts off Rusev and Nakamura. So I'm not going to go through the whole Royal Rumble. So I'm going to fast right forward to the final 4. It's Rusev, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Roman Reigns.
I almost thought you were going to say Triple H.
No, Triple H doesn't really do the Rumble.
I mean, he just won the Rumble a few years ago, didn't he?
But that's when he was He was the authority, and he was trying to he was in it to screw over Roman. So, but the last 4 years, or however long it's been, he hasn't been in it because he's not trying to get a title match. He only has matches
at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania at this point,
That's
or
true.
at Saudi Arabia money grab.
He's definitely gonna lose, right? That's what's gonna happen.
I don't know.
He doesn't have a very good WrestleMania record. That's all I'm saying.
No, he has the worst WrestleMania record. He has the most.
Oh my
losses.
God, are we booking or?
Damn.
Yes. Come on.
Hey, Primetime Hollywood, welcome to the
Right,
club.
damn.
Damn.
I'm sorry, we're talking
I was trying
during
to keep y'all on track.
taking 2 seconds to talk about
Anywho.
Triple H. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Fast forward, the final 4, like I said, were Rusev, Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Roman. So Drew and Roman are brawling. They're beating the shit out of each other. But eventually Roman gets
What'd you say?
Drew. What?
They're beating the what out of each other?
Shit out of each other.
Oh, sound like you said shout. Beating the shout out of each other.
Piss, whatever.
And that would have been shout would have been funnier.
Just shout out of each other.
Yeah, they beat each other so much they can't scream anymore.
Oh, get back on track.
Primetime Mike, how's it going?
But then he eventually gets Drew over the top rope, but they're still brawling. But then he hits a Superman punch to knock Drew out of it. So he's in the final 3. But Drew, being the heel, goes back in. He hits a Claymore on Roman, and then throws Roman over the top rope, eliminating him, which is going to continue a Roman versus Drew feud. So then it's the final 4 is Randy Orton and Rusev. So they go back and forth. At one point, Randy hits the RKO and goes to drag Rusev out, but then Aiden English is under the ring, and he grabs Randy Orton's foot, so he isn't able to actually get to Rusev to get him out. Rusev eventually recovers and then hits a Mosca kick and then gets Randy out. So he is the new Royal Rumble winner. So as the confetti falls, everyone's chanting Rusev Day. And Rusev points to the Mania sign per like their contractual demand.
Obligation.
Yeah,
They
they're
have
legally
to do it,
required
right.
to point to the Mania sign.
It's in their
So,
contract. They have to
yeah.
do it X amount of times minimum.
Yes, or you don't get paid. So the next SmackDown Live, Randy comes out. He says that he was robbed, and that if it wasn't for English, Rusev wouldn't have won the match. Rusev would have been gone months ago, and the only reason he's relevant is because of Aiden English. Randy then demands that he be entered into the Mania match because he was robbed. Shane then says he would love to do that because he does feel like Randy was robbed, but Randy has to earn that shot. But he has the perfect idea. So at Fastlane, it's going to be Randy Orton versus Rusev. If Rusev loses, Randy gets put into the match. Aiden English is also banned from ringside for that match. But tonight, so Orton can get a little bit of revenge, it's going to be Orton versus Aiden and a no DQ match. But Rusev is banned from ringside, and if he comes out at all, he's going to forfeit his Mania match to Orton. So Aiden is able to get a little bit of offense in, but eventually, Randy being Randy, he turns the tide, and he ends up hitting Aiden with 3 RKOs and a punt kick. And then he pins as Rusev is looking on the TV monitor, like pissed that he can't go out there. And then he pins Aiden 1, 2, 3 after the RKOs and the punt kick. So the very next week, Rusev comes out and says that Aiden's hurt pretty bad. He doesn't know when he's going to be coming back. Randy Orton interrupts the interview and taunts Rusev, making fun of Aiden, pretty much being Randy Orton, being a dick. So it's fast forward. It's Rusev versus Orton at Fastlane. So it's a pretty good match. The finish, though, is Rusev goes for the Mashka kick, but misses. Randy is able to hit a RKO out of nowhere. Randy goes for the pin 1-2, but Rusev manages to kick out. Frustrated, Orton goes for the punt kick, but Rusev is able to dodge it and hit the Mashka kick, and he wins 1, 2, 3. So Randy Orton's out of the title contention, and he's not getting a title match
How did he win?
Mania. The Mashka kick.
How did he? By pinfall, you said?
Yes, by pinfall.
1,
2,
3 pinfall.
You finally got the joke, Mike.
Finally got it.
So Fastlane's over, so now we're gonna go to Rusev's actual opponent at WrestleMania, which is going to be a heel Daniel Bryan. So he's the champion, and he starts talking smack. He's like, I'm happy to face Rusev because it's going to be an easy win. Hell, I might even break the record for the fastest win in Mania history. So he's saying pretty much he's going to break his own record where instead of him being the one getting pinned in 8 seconds, he's going to pin Rusev in like 8 seconds. So because he doesn't take Rusev seriously as a competitor, he calls him a joke. So Rusev comes out and says he believes he can definitely defeat him. Daniel Bryan harps on Rusev for the calendars and says it's a waste of paper. Mocks Rusev Day, says it's a joke. He says the only important day is Earth Day. So we then get competing chants of Rusev Day and Earth Day.
Wow.
But Daniel Bryan says they don't deserve the chant Earth Day. What,
True.
Travis?
A plus heel work.
Yeah, the only important day is Earth Day. So Rowan, while Rusev and Daniel Bryan are in the ring, from behind, Rowan takes out Rusev. So they then beat Rusev, and Daniel Bryan beat the crap out of Rusev. As they're about to have Rowan put Rusev through a table. Aiden English comes out. He's better, and he, with a chair, he sends Daniel Bryan and Rowan retreating. So Shane then announces that the next week it's going to be Rusev Day versus the Vegan Club. So the Vegan Club wins by pinning. They pin Aiden. Rusev gets knocked out of the ring. Aiden gets pinned. Eats the pin. So for the go home episode, it's Rusev versus Rowan. But if Rusev wins, Rowan is also banned from ringside for the match. Because if you remember, sorry, I wrote this part is where I start to fall asleep while I was booking. So it's not making much sense for a second. So
just read what you have written down.
Yeah. For the go home episode, it's Rusev versus Rowan. But if Rusev wins, Aiden is also banned from ringside, which doesn't make any sense why Rusev would want Aiden banned from ringside. So we're gonna go with Rusev versus Rowan. If Rusev wins, then Rowan is banned from ringside, along with Aiden English. They're both banned from ringside. So Rusev manages to get the accolade in, and it looks like he's going to get the win. But then out of nowhere, Daniel Bryan comes in, blindsides Rusev with the running knee. So technically, Rusev does win by DQ. So now Aiden and Rowan are both banned from ringside. But Daniel Bryan's not done. So he then takes Rusev, very much like happened to him before he went to WrestleMania and won the title when Triple H attacked him, and just put his arm against the post and kept ramming it. That's what Daniel Bryan's going to do to Rusev. And then eventually he's going to have Rowan grab a wooden bat from under the ring, and he hits Rusev with the bat repeatedly in the shoulder. So, and it's wooden because vegan.
Because everyone knows that there's metal in there's animal products in metal.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not vegan, but it would be like
it's environmental
because that's gonna break down.
Yeah, it's eco-friendly bats. Eco-friendly weapons is what Daniel Bryan uses.
Hey, flashback to when Kevin made the Wyatt family plus the Vegan Club and made them actual terrorists.
Eco-terrorists, yeah.
Yeah, we're literally killing people.
That's not really. They didn't kill anybody, but that's where I want to see Vegan Club go.
To be terrorists?
Also, yeah, eco-terrorists. And also, I want the Wyatt family back. There was also an element of straight edge society in there.
There was.
It was good booking. I was quite proud of booking.
So the show ends with Daniel Bryan with the bat and the wooden title standing over Rusev's body.
Jesus.
But now there's no managers at Mania, so it's literally going to be straight up Daniel Bryan versus Rusev. Daniel Bryan works Rusev's arm because he's been wearing that. He obviously injured it. Rusev has his arm wrapped up. You can tell it's injured. Obviously, it's going to help for the bell lock if his arm is injured. So he works the arm. They go back and forth. At one point, the referee does go down. So we're going to go old school. Ref gets knocked down. Heel gets the chair. Rusev eventually is able to kick the chair into Daniel Bryan's face. The referee wakes up, counts the 1, 2, 3. Rusev wins his first WWE Championship, and eventually Aiden comes out, and they celebrate as everyone chants Rusev Day, and the confetti falls, and Rusev is your new WWE Champion at WrestleMania. And that's really how the cookie crumbles.
You're really into confetti in this booking, hey? It's full circle. It starts and ends with confetti.
He's also very into singing.
Rusev Day. Well done.
What color is the confetti?
Where are they? They're in New York City. So I'm gonna go with black and blue.
Black and blue.
Yes.
New York City is black and blue.
Yeah, yes. No, I don't think that New York City's black and blue. I think it's legally you're only allowed to use black and blue confetti in New York City.
Yeah, it's part of the wrestling rule book. It's rule number 122 of section 45.
Hey,
so,
Good.
I'm Canadian, and honestly, a lot of American sports and like American sport legislation is bananas to me. So for like a second, I was prepared to believe that. I was like, yeah, that sounds legit. That sounds like something that happens in the States.
I thought it for a whole second too. They sold me on it. I was like, oh, they're playing it
I
pretty
was
straight
like-
on this.
I was like, all right, that seems like a ridiculous thing that would happen in America.
Especially New York.
I can't say it's not true. Like, honestly, can't. It might be true.
Now,
It's-
to be fair, having said that, the capital of my province briefly banned professional wrestling because someone died in the octagon during an MMA fight, and so they banned all combat sports, and we were like, but it's not a cut.
Combat spec.
Not an
Okay,
actual
whatever.
combat sport.
So
Wait,
several
so
months.
you're about to kill the business.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but you're-
Yeah, so for months we couldn't wrestle in that city, which was ridiculous. Finally they lifted the ban, at least for wrestlers. I don't know about everybody else.
Nice.
and nor does she care.
I do not.
All right.
I don't
It's
live
just people not knowing what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got another booking to go. Kevin.
Is yours as long as his is?
No, mine's quite short.
Yes.
And his wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long.
It feels long.
We kind of kept interrupting him.
But I'm sleepy. That's why.
Oh my god. Okay. So, to preface, this will be very controversial and a lot of people are going to hate it, but that's what I'm here for. Just to be hated on. Someone's got to do it. Okay.
Someone's got to hate on you. I volunteer as tribute.
I know you do, buddy. I know. Appreciate it. You can always keep me on my toes. All right. So, we start at TLC because I was told we start at the pay-per-view before the Rumble. So, we're going to have Rusev and Lana in a mixed tag match with Zelina and Almas. So, match starts out with Rusev and Andrade in the ring. Rusev starts out really, really strong. Sorry, my phone is making noise. Rusev starts out really, really strong. And but eventually the tide turns and Almas starts just beating the absolute crap out of Rusev. And then we'll take Rusev to his corner and tag Zelina in for her to hit something fancy on him. And then
Can she
bring
do
him-
something fancy?
she can do a really nice head scissor, which it's not difficult to do, but it looks great.
I say, can't you do a really nice head scissor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And if you do it really
Unrelated.
well,
Unrelated,
if you do it
Mike.
really
I
well,
was about to say,
Unrelated.
how do you like? Are you trying to
Unrelated.
say just because
Unrelated.
one person can do a head scissor, the other person can't?
That's not what I'm saying at all.
He's trying
she
to say
said-
it's not that fancy if anybody can, if
Oh,
Kevin
she
can
can do it.
That's
which
not what
is
I was saying at all.
ridiculous
Because
my
it's a
head
head
scissor is
scis- head scissor
over.
Hey, I said
Okay.
none of these things. I just said, don't you do a really good head scissor?
I do a great head scissor.
I know you're very proud of your head scissor. I was giving
I'm
you a chance to
very
put
proud.
yourself over.
Very proud of my head scissor.
But they assumed
very
I was being a dick.
suspicious. Yeah,
Right,
Zelina's,
back-
usually
back
are.
up.
Zelina's head
Suspicious.
scissor. Zelina's head scissor is just as good as mine. So Zelina will come in and hit a couple of fancy things and go for the pin. Rusev is obviously huge. So he continues to
Physically or like popularity?
physically.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna go in a completely different.
I
thought
did
you were
too,
going
and I was
completely
like,
different
that's
direction
still
with that.
physically, but okay.
Get your minds out of the gutters, you
You
dirty
mean
little
physically
freaks.
or physically?
My God, I cannot with you. Okay, so
You're gonna poke
Rusev-
Rusev's
I
penis.
should have said, hold on. I should have said physically or physically or physically.
oh my God.
Giggity.
ah.
3 physically.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad that this is how I spend one evening a week.
Wow.
Well,
Jeez,
fuck
Why are
you
you
lied.
mad about
You
it?
lied.
This is
She
a
lies. She loves us.
right. This
Okay.
is enjoyable.
we're her best
Okay.
friends.
Bitch, you
Only
might be.
best. I mean, ever.
Okay, so Rusev's fighting a really good fight, holds his own. And a couple of times, he's getting his ass absolutely handed to him. A couple of times he goes to tag Lana when he managed to get his opponent away from him for a second, but she like pretends not to see him or like is distracted somehow or can't reach him even though it's clear that she could reach him.
That sounds like Lana.
Lana is actively avoiding being tagged into this match.
So Lana's
Is it
just
because she
working.
can't wrestle?
Could you let me book?
No.
Could you chill? Because that is neither here nor there and has no
Yeah,
bearing on my storyline.
I got a question, and you might have already presented it, but I forgot. Who's the babyface here?
I didn't. So Rusev is kind of a tweener, like an anti-hero babyface. So at this point, acting like a heel, but is over like a babyface.
So Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Kevin Owens, Becky Lynch right now, etc., etc. Okay, so Lana's just actively avoiding the tag, but once he's way out of arm's reach, she's yelling at him about what he should do and etc., etc. So it's 17 minutes, and after getting the crap kicked out of him by two different people, Rusev finally takes the pin. Lana is absolutely furious. So there's a little bit of I didn't book the I don't remember what brand they're on. I didn't book TV. I just booked the pay-per-views, but in the next month it's a little tense with Rusev and Lana. You can tell that Lana, despite the fact that she basically played no part in the tag match, is furious at Rusev still, and she's being quite curt to him. So Royal Rumble rolls around. That was a lot of ours. And I'm actually going to keep Nia Jax's little rampage through the men's rumble. And so one of the people she eliminates is Rusev. And Lana is absolutely furious. So later in a backstage segment, we have Charlie interviewing Sheamus, maybe, let's say.
Maybe.
And sure. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter who she's interviewing.
I want her to be interviewing Damone.
Okay, so she's interviewing Damone, who's there for some reason.
I made it, baby.
You did it.
He's really living the
Because
dream.
he Vince Russo did. He
living the dream.
He went on to creative and he did what Vince Russo did and inserted himself in the storylines.
Okay, so Charlie is interviewing Damone about his burgeoning creative career for some reason. And kind of mid-interview, we hear yelling off camera. And so Charlie, being the investigative journalist that she is, kind of follows the noise, and so does the camera, leaving Damone just standing there.
Right
they
before
follow
he's
the
about to
noise.
speak.
Yeah. Ha! And then they leave. Sorry, buddy.
That was my life.
We follow the noise, and instead of doing the WWE thing and just like going and standing in what is clearly a private conversation, the camera and Charlie are both kind of like peering around the corner. So we don't see what's going on full on, but we can kind of see their backs and we can definitely hear them. And it's Lana, and she's just screaming at Rusev, and she's and some of it's in Russian and some of it's in English, but it's clear that she's furious about how the Rumble went down, about the fact that he was eliminated. She's getting in his face. She's actually like cuffing him upside the head. Like she's getting a little physical. It's clearly not hurting Rusev, but like she's hopping mad. And it's clear that she's got kind of a Lady Macbeth complex going on. She's trying to gain power through Rusev. And Rusev is just is just staring at the ground, and we see this for like 3 minutes at least, and it's to the point where it's uncomfortable. Like everyone is uncomfortable, and so eventually they cut on that. And so the tension on TV continues to build, and it's Rusev's doing everything he can to make Lana happy, but it's somehow never right. And so Elimination Chamber rolls around, and Rusev has a match with Nakamura and actually goes over, and that's great. So then later on the card, Lana has a match with Lacey Evans. And Lana's really confident when she goes in. Rusev comes out with her because he's a loving and supportive husband. And so maybe 7 or 8 minutes into the match, Lacey has a hold on Lana, and she's clearly in a lot of pain. And so she starts screaming for Rusev to do something. And he's looking around like, what do you mean? Like, you're in a match. What do you want me to do? And he kind of looks under the ring and like doesn't really see anything under there, because for once there's nothing under the ring. And he's looking around like, I don't understand. And she's still screaming. She's still screaming like, Rusev, get me out of here. Rusev, do something. And he doesn't know what to do. So finally he just goes into the ring, decks Lacey Evans, picks Lana up, and starts carrying her out. And Lana's clearly fine with this. This is what Lana wanted. But then, of course, the bell rings, and Lacey goes over by DQ. And then we see Lana just completely change. She makes Rusev put her down. She's like pushing him. She's screaming at him.
I think I see where this is going.
This is right there on the ramp. I told you it's low-hanging fruit.
This is an odd route to go.
Hopefully does he Moshka kick her off the ramp? Because that would be
just chill. We're at Elimination Chamber. So
he kicks her off the chamber.
Hold on. I'd like to say this is an odd direction to go, but this is 100% the direction I would think you would go. Go ahead.
Of course it would, because
it's you.
Intergender, clap, 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 clap. It's also literally the only thing that came to my mind. Okay, so she's like screaming at him on the ramp. Again, people are uncomfortable. Like it's no longer like, oh, crazy, like they're a couple. It's like, is Rusev okay? Eventually they make their way to the back. The refs actually have to come and like usher them to the back, because it's like people can't see this. Okay, so Fastlane. We've got Rusev in a match with, I just put in brackets, someone.
Damone.
No, we've already used Damone.
Damone can be in multiple segments.
No, he can't.
Right, he doesn't have to be just one.
My boy Mike. My boy Mike made it. He made it too. I brought my boy Mike along.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay.
Where the fuck am I at?
All right.
You're in AEW.
Yeah. Me and Hollywood are over there being a tag team.
Hell yeah.
Tag team.
Easily the worst and least compatible.
So what you're
tag
saying
team.
is Damone and I made it to WWE before you in Hollywood.
Yeah.
No, we're
Not
working
surprising.
the indies, because that's clearly what we want. Okay, so Rusev is in a match with Mike, I guess, or picture someone that wrestles.
Wow, I can't wrestle.
Rusev, you don't wrestle.
Mike
Doesn't mean
wrestles
I couldn't wrestle. This is.
I didn't say you can't. I said picture someone that wrestles.
Mm-hmm.
You don't wrestle. Girl, listen to the tape.
Hey, hold on. Mike does a really nice head scissor.
I will fight. Okay, so you know what? For that, I'm getting rid of it. Adam Cole, baby. Rusev has a match with Adam Cole, and Rusev is in control. And Lana is once again at ringside, but it's like noticeably chilly. They don't look at each other. They don't touch, like nothing.
I thought you were gonna start talking about Glacier. It started to get chilly, and then Glacier came out.
Yes. Yes.
I thought you were going to talk about something else. She said noticeably chilly, and my mind went.
No, stop immediately. So Rusev is in control. Lana is ringside, and once again, she's being so overbearing. She's telling him exactly what to do, and he's like, I can do this. It's a great technical match. It goes on for like 22 minutes, and there've been enough high spots that the crowd is on its feet, crazy loud, and it's anyone's game at this point. So Rusev is in control, and Lana is still shouting at him what to do. And every time he does the wrong thing, according to Lana, he gets absolutely obliterated with insults, and it's awful. So he's trying to understand what Lana says, and so he kind of really quickly releases his hold to move towards her so he can hear her better. That's all Adam Cole needs to turn it around. And get the pin on Rusev, and that's the end of the match. So later in the night, again, we see them backstage. She's absolutely screaming at Rusev, and saying, like, you're nothing. I always knew you were stupid, but you were at least supposed to be strong. You're not even that anymore. I should show you what good wrestling looks like. And we see Rusev snap, and he's like, fine, if you think you can do this so much better, if you think I'm weak, then we'll settle it this way. You're a wrestler, I'm a wrestler, fine. WrestleMania, it's you and I. And that is Rusev's road to WrestleMania.
Oh, leave it hanging on the cliffhanger. Okay.
It's the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, she
Y'all
didn't do
didn't say nothing
WrestleMania.
about booking WrestleMania. But I would say that after WrestleMania, they would be on separate brands, because there's really no way to just come back from that.
I guess we did just say the road to WrestleMania. It didn't actually say
she
WrestleMania.
found a loophole. She found
No,
a glitch
I
in
just-
the Matrix.
No, I could decide what result I wanted, so I decided to leave it.
Right.
Yeah, because obviously Rusev should win that match, but if he doesn't win that match,
I
or if
think
he
Rusev
does,
I think Rusev would have to win. And to me, here's my thing. I understand that technically a guy beating a girl is supposed to be bad news bears. I do. But when you have, first of all, there's two reasons why I think this is okay and important. When you have two competitors that are both wrestlers that in theory have similar training and skills, even if one's stronger than the other could be theoretically faster. It's like having a big guy, little guy match. There's no reason those two shouldn't be allowed to get in the ring together. Secondly, and this is a bit more of a controversial opinion, I believe that if your partner is violent to you, you have the right to do what you need to do to defend yourself, regardless of gender. And so those are kind of the principles that I go by. So certainly controversial booking. I have no idea how well it would go over, but it's really honestly just the first thing that came to my mind, and kind of the only thing that came to my mind, honestly.
Honestly, Rusev should honestly just beat her in like
Oh yeah.
a minute.
No, I'd want to see a real match, because you could do a lot of emotional storytelling.
Can Lana do emotional storytelling?
hey, listen. Lana does a really good head scissor.
I hate you.
I think I'm just gonna name the episode "Head Scissors."
I have nothing to say. I have no fight in me. I put all the energy I had into my booking.
So what she's saying is, I win.
Sure.
He didn't even book, and he won. Anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. Because
Why haven't we done a mini game in like 16 episodes?
I don't know. Because we
Let's do.
haven't.
What would
Why'd
Triple
you
H
sing that?
do?
You said, I don't know.
I don't know.
Rusev Day.
Rusev Day.
What would Triple H do? We haven't done one of those.
Well,
No,
all
those
right.
that takes prep work. We can't do that. Do a guess the wrestler, Damone.
Okay, give me a minute, you guys.
Or we
talk
can do
amongst
it,
yourselves.
or we can do a Mount Rushmore.
I would say you could do a Mount Rushmore.
That's faster. Mount Rushmore it is.
Do
What is the top?
a Mount Rushmore of giants.
Ooh.
Can I-
Undertaker.
Simone?
Andre the Giant. It's in his name.
Kevin's over here like, was there any giants on the Indies?
No, I'm over here like, Big Show.
She's
He
like,
was-
what? Oh, the Big Show does a really good head scissor.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Why are you this person? No, Big Show.
I have seen him I have seen him when he was the Giant.
It's a
Do a drop kick.
Taker, Big Show, and and Andre. So that leaves Kane, I guess, right?
Unless you want to throw the Great Khali on there.
No, Kane. Definitely not going Great Khali.
Giant
April Fools is over.
There's Giant Gonzalez.
I'm sticking
Kevin
with
Nash,
Kane.
Big Sexy.
Well, I guess there is Kevin Nash, but I'm still sticking with Kane.
Ooh.
I'm still sticking with Kane. I mean, Kane is he still comes back once in a while, and he's a fucking politician that actually has office.
Yeah.
That gives him some badass points right
That
there.
is pretty badass.
Like,
and the last time I saw him on TV, he was quoting In Sync lyrics, I believe.
Was he?
Yeah.
I thought so every time I see him, I think he's great. I think he definitely deserves to be on a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, I would put him right there. I would say that's pretty accurate because Taker, obviously, Andre, when you're talking about Giants, Big Show, those are pretty much
definitely the Giants. I would say for sure. All right, well, that's book it. Before we go, we're gonna go ahead and put some plugs out there real quick. Hollywood, you want to go ahead and plug yourself?
Yeah. Crazy. Hate that. Hate that. Okay. So I can't wrestle at the moment due to a not wrestling related injury. However, I will eventually wrestle again. If you're interested in seeing what I'm up to when I eventually can wrestle, you can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Kaya March Wrestles, KAIA March, like the month. Or you can follow me on Twitter @Kaya March, same spelling. Yeah, I want to see you hang out with me.
You can follow all the T13 Media shows at t13media.com. That's the letter T, the number 1, 3 spelled out, media.com, which that link will also be in the description of this episode, as well as most of our episodes of the recent past. You can also go to Patreon, patreon.com/T13Media, and you can sign up and become a patron and help us make great content. Anyone else?
We love you.
I don't.
All right, well, that's the plugs. See ya.